Alright, welcome. I'm Zeke Amiri, a newer VTuber. I'm just going to be discussing some albums that I definitely think you should listen to. Do I think they're the best albums of all time? A few of them, yes. A few of them I put in here just because I really enjoy listening to them, and they might not be, like, the best, but they're a nice experience. It'll also help you get to know me better, which I feel is probably pretty important for someone who, is on YouTube after all. Alright, we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start off with OK Computer by Radiohead, released in 1997. The most popular song, at least in terms of Spotify, is Karma Police. My pick, personally though, would be Paranoid Android. About the title of the album, Tom York is quoted as saying the name of the album refers to embracing the future. It refers to being terrified of the future, of our future, of everyone else's. It's to do with standing in a room where all these appliances are going off, and all these machines and computers and so on, and the sound that makes. So, from this, from start to finish, this album is just absolutely full of winners. This is an album you can put on and play all the way through with absolutely zero skips. This is a trippier album than, spoiler alert, the next album that is going to be on this list that is also by Radiohead. And a warning, if you happen to be a user of the psychedelic substances, there is a song called Fitter Happier that you're going to want to prepare yourself for, because it's going to shock you as it's a synthesized voice that's just a fun change of pace in the album. But if you're on some sort of substance, it might scare the hell out of you. The two breakout songs on the album are Karma Police and No Surprises. They're obviously the most popular, and they tend to be people's most favorite. But, like I said, my pick to get an experience of the album to see if you want to actually listen to it is Paranoid Android. And next up on the list, as I kind of already spoiled, is another Radiohead album. This one is The Bends, released in 1995. The album gets its name from the diving term for decompression sickness. When you rise too quickly from deep water, bubbles form in your blood, which leads to a very bad time. This is an allusion to how they felt after reaching stardom far too quickly with the release of Creep, which if you ask someone to name a Radiohead song, 9 times out of 10 they're going to say Creep, and they're going to think that's the best song they have. They're wrong. Once again, this album, from start to finish, is absolutely solid. It's definitely more melancholic than OK Computer, and it's a completely different vibe with way more guitar focus. But if you play it from start to finish, when you need to release some feels, by the time Fake Plastic Trees comes on, you will be ready to just give in to the vibes and feel the emotion behind it. The most popular song on the album is High and Dry, which is an amazing song, but my one choice to get a feel for the album is Black Star. Well, my mic is peaking a little bit, so whatever. Excuse that, I apologize. But next up on the list is the self-titled album, John Prine, released in 1971. The most popular song on it is Angel from Montgomery. My personal pick would be Sam Stone, but I would also recommend Paradise. Those are solid. They will give you a feel for it. John Prine himself was discovered at a bar by Chris Christopherson, and Chris Christopherson believed that Prine was more talented than himself, yet he was singing at just a lonely little bar. So that led to him signing him and releasing one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. This is a super fun and melancholic album. It tells about the time of war, coal companies destroying the Midwest, really just wanting to do some acid and escape reality sometimes, which the album opens with Illegal Smile, which is about the aforementioned acid, but I don't care if you hate country or folk music. You this album deserves to be listened to at least once. I promise you it is worth it. I know I'm a person who is like, I hate any sort of country, blah, blah, blah. Well, I like classic country, but anything that's like modern, whatever. But this is 1971. John Prine is a legend. Give it a shot. He deserves it. You deserve it. Ooh, this next one right here is one of my absolute favorites. Pretty Hate Machine by 9 Inch Nails, released in 1989. Most popular song, Head Like a Hole, which a lot of people already know. My personal favorite is Something I Can Never Have from this album. This album was absolutely groundbreaking for its time, and it's still one of the absolute greats. It's a masterpiece. Let it play from start to finish. Trent Reznor recorded this album almost entirely by himself, and this really opened the door for industrial rock and later grunge. I cannot give Reznor enough credit for this. Like, if you've ever struggled with any sort of self-doubt or depression, this album's gonna really resonate heavily with you. And the song, That's What I Get, you're really gonna feel it. This is seriously one of the greatest albums of all time. Like, stop listening to me, go listen to this album, please, I beg of thee. Now here's a fun one that a lot of people might not know about. This is Death Metal by the band Panchico. It was released in 2000, but it was released in 2000 as a demo with maybe 10 CDs, just by a group of high school friends. One of the CDs was eventually discovered in a British thrift store in like 2016, and the internet was eventually able to find the members of the original band and secure a remaster of the CD. It is absolutely insane. It's one of those wild stories that you really just have to hear to believe. I recommend you go watch a YouTuber named Wang. He has a video over this album and the remaster. He explains it in perfect detail. Please go watch that. The most popular song on the album is the title of the album, Death Metal. But my pick would be La Puta. The name of the album does not represent the genre of music. They sound closer to Radiohead than any sort of actual death metal. Just give them a shot. They're really good. I cannot recommend them enough. They don't get nearly enough listens, but they're actually touring now after being rediscovered and reforming, which is wild. And next up, this is another one that's going to be on almost every list that you Google as one of the best albums of all time. This is The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. So good. Oh my gosh. Please listen to this album. It was released in 1972. The most popular song is Starman. My pick, personally, is Moon Age Daydream. This is another one of those albums where you have to listen to it start to finish as a complete album and not just as singles. It kind of tells a story throughout, and it's just full of memorable songs. I love this album. I cannot say it enough. But the character Ziggy Stardust himself was inspired by English rock and roll singer Vince Taylor, whom Bowie met after Taylor had a breakdown and believed himself to be a cross between God and an alien. So this is David Bowie's take as himself being a god and an alien dealing with spiders on Mars. Yes, it's just as awesome as it sounds. Go listen to it, please. Now this next one. This is a band you might have heard of from, the cool dude across the hall in college. The Mountain Goats, they're fantastic. This album, Tallahassee, was released in 2002. The most popular song, No Children, is an absolute banger and, one of my favorite songs of all time. So, my pick on the album is also No Children. I'm gonna be a basic bitch here, and I accept that. That is all on me, and I'm proud of that. Also, highly recommend the title song of the album, Tallahassee. Just please listen to this album. Broaden your horizons. If you're not used to listening to this kind of music, whatever, just listen to it. I've been pretty vague with what anything really sounds like because I want you to just give everything a shot. I might go into further detail at some point, but for now, just go listen to all these albums. Just do it. Please. Alright. This next one. This is another one where you've probably heard of them, but you might not know from where. Some cool dude in college told you about them, but you never really actually checked them out. This is the Flood album by They Might Be Giants. It was released in 1990. The most popular song on there is Istanbul, which is a banger, but my personal pick is Birdhouse in Your Soul. They are surprisingly popular for the theme songs of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, as you probably know the hot dog song, and the Oblongs. They also just play little bar joints and stuff all the time. They're just super fun. This entire album is just a fun, silly album that you should listen to. I fully believe in They Might Be Giants as just being a nice little break from reality for a bit. They're goofy. Please listen to it. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that everyone has heard of Daft Punk, and if you haven't, please, by the love of God, or whatever else you believe in, go listen to Daft Punk's Discovery album. Released in 2001, the most popular song is One More Time, as you all know. That definitely peaked my mic. I am so sorry. But my personal favorite pick is Something About Us. It is so good. The entire album is just mwah, chef's kiss. I really cannot give it enough credit. Please listen to it. It is fantastic. Like, drop everything and go listen to it. It is that good. Alright, now this one. This one is a legendary album. You can ask your parents, everyone's gonna probably know it. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. It was released in 1977. The most popular song, Dreams, my pick, Dreams. It's just so good. Everything about this album is so good. The fact that while they were writing this album and performing it, it was all fueled on just heavy amounts of cocaine and cheating on each other, and, like, it was wild. Like, they agreed to only speak about music and break off their relationship. They were only going to speak about music, nothing about the relationship at all, and they just did a bunch of coke. So it was absolutely crazy. They actually were quoted as considering thanking their coke dealer on the album, which, I mean, I figure a lot of those old albums definitely could have thanked their coke dealer, but the other top songs in this album are The Chain and Go Your Own Way. It's an amazing album through and through. If you really enjoy this one, then consider the live album The Dance that was made more recently. It includes the other hits like Rhiannon and Landslide and other things. It's absolutely fantastic. Now I'm just going to throw in some bonus songs. Also, remember to stay hydrated, especially whenever you're recording stuff, or else you're going to get the sound, which I realize I probably did in the past few slides. I apologize. I am not very great right now. But alright, bonus songs. Yoshime Battles the Pink Robots by the Flaming Lips. Go listen to it. It's a really fun one. One of my favorite modern artists now is Kuko, and I highly recommend the song Lover Is a Day as just being an amazing song. Keepin' Tabs by Kuko is just a super fun song with a hook that is so catchy. Three Libras by A Perfect Circle. I love Maynard. Anything that's like Tool, A Perfect Circle, or Pucifer, highly recommend. And then one of my favorite bands is Ghost. Listen to Mariana Cross. It is a really fun one. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I know that some of it's scuffed. I'm still really early on here, but I appreciate you watching. I really do. The art tag, if you want to tag me in Twitter for any fan art, is hashtag ZekeArtistry. I'm at Zeka ENVT. I'm just English VTuber, basically. I really enjoy doing this. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.